Hobson.
Hey, oh my God, girl. Hey, girl, hey. For you, why? Everybody know how it feels. Hey, my favorite theme song of any show I've ever done. Like, right, it's like this pump.
The build up.
It's
like,
everything,
yes.
man. Like this is the jam, you guys. It's so good to be back as usual. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm your host Stacy Ike here. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram at OneTakeStace. I have my amazing co-host with me. I just want to say hello to Steven and Nicole who are not here joining us. I hope everybody's okay. We love you. We miss you. We'll see you next week. But I am joined with Miss Amazing Tiona.
Hello, I'm amazing Tiona Hobson, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Tiona Hobson.
Love, love, love. So excited. Such a packed episode.
So much happened in this episode. And I'm really sad that Steve's not here to help us understand every detail.
Because he's good at the dissecting process. You know, I like to kind of I'm like, okay, jump that, scan over, you know. But we're going to do our best to kind of scan through, and we will, if we miss anything, we'll get to you next week. So, because it's a lot. Okay. I want to go character by character this week because there was just so much that happened with every single character. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to think like Lewis or Mike, do I want to laugh first or cry first? I'm going to go cry first. Let's get that out the way. Let's talk Mike.
Okay.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Prison life, man. It's rough out in these streets,
it's hella rough. You know what? I appreciate they're giving us this type of prison view because they could have slapped. I just don't know. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect last season. We were all kind of talking like, how are they going to show this? How are we going to stay engaged? And I'm into it. Like, there's other characters now I'm into besides Mike, and I think that's cool. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a way to introduce new characters since we got rid of the whole law firm. Now we have a whole prison with a whole bunch of new characters that we can get to know, get to love, or hate. And it brings a new energy or a new enemy, and it actually sets up the show to have an enemy within the prison and outside of the prison. So it's kind of that double thing where there's so many fights going on and everyone's involved.
Right. I agree. And it's crazy because like I said last week, the first week we came back for this season, it's crazy how tongue-tied things can be when it comes to Harvey, Mike, and their lives in all facets. I mean, Mike is in prison still having to deal with this kind of baggage. And we see it a lot more in this episode in terms of like the things that Mike has to deal with this Gallo dude, who I personally cannot stand. How are you feeling about Gallo's character?
He's that guy in the prison that unfortunately Mike is on the wrong side of. Yeah. But I mean, the actor is doing a great job at making me hate him.
Yes.
So kudos.
Good job. It's just interesting because like his power is overwhelming. Now this week we find out he's an informant, so he has people in high places, which is boo you, but we get why.
Which is kind of a really screwed up thing for him because he runs his whole operation on the fact that he is the badass and he is the guy to fear, yet you copped a deal to get not only moved to a safer quote unquote prison, but also to reduce your sentence and to, start your life over. Yep. And now you're over here trying to ruin this guy's life. His whole establishment now is just, in my mind, muddled.
You're a total punk, dude. Like
yeah. You sold out.
You had to sold out somebody to get there.
Yeah.
So, how dare you? I wish he just could get over it, and I think we're going to find out what getting over it looks like.
And that means that Mike is actually the better man because Mike wouldn't snitch on the people and that's why Mike is in prison because he would not snitch on anyone or be an informant, and this guy is getting out because of it.
Wow. See, like, you just never know, people. Okay, you just never know. And I love that point that you said because there has been this kind of like contrast between these characters, like what good and bad kind of thing, and it's easy to say Gallo's bad and Mike's good, or Mike's good and whatever is okay. But I think in general, now that we have a deeper story when it comes to Gallo and how he got there and all this stuff, it makes him everything you said. Let's go with what you said. I can't come. I'm not going to come with meaning words.
Just makes him painted more.
Yes, more of a picture.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about Mike and his roommate Kevin?
Their friendship is adorable.
It is.
I love that they are starting to trust each other, and they've made the pact to do everything together. I liked at the end when they were doing the movie quote thing because that was him and Harvey's thing, and it just goes to show you that anywhere Mike goes, he can make friends, and he always finds the movie buffs.
Right.
Seriously. He always finds someone who's super into movies and can just quote them with him.
And happens to be a roommate. Stop.
Yeah.
Love
so,
it.
I mean, I like their relationship. I was scared, though, because I felt with where we got by the end of the episode, I knew something was coming where you just got me to actually start liking this guy and him and Mike's relationship. And now you want Mike to do something, and I'm like, don't ruin it, because Mike's a good guy and he doesn't want to ruffle any more feathers. This is his only friend in prison.
If we skip ahead to just like a quick what do you think moment, what do you think Mike will take the bait?
It doesn't sound like they want anything bad from Kevin. It sounds like they just want Mike to convince him to snitch, which is exactly the opposite of what Mike would do in a situation. Right. So I don't think that Mike taking them up on their offer would necessarily be bad, but I don't think that Kevin would go through with it, and I don't think that they would get out or anything.
Because let's say that Kevin does take the bait and he snitches, and then he finds out, oh, you got out early because I snitched. That would not. I mean, I guess you'd be gone, but still, I mean, your word is not your bond in that situation.
Yeah, and they said it's his family, so he wouldn't turn on his family, and if Mike's not turning on Harvey and Jessica, how can he convince someone to then do exactly what he wouldn't do? It's kind of the Rachel debate from her classroom. You know, it's like, how can you be here preaching to me about something that you wouldn't do yourself?
Seriously. I love that. Okay, so like to wrap up Mike, what else happened with Mike? So we have him in the kitchen. Let's talk Julius. Let's talk about his counselor.
Julius.
Right. Love me some Malcolm Jamal Warner. Not really sure how I feel about Julius, though.
Julius, to me, feels like a teacher in the inner city who has the best intentions, but none of the resources to actually help the students.
That is a great description.
I feel like I'm really on one tonight.
I'm like, yes.
I have channeled into Suits tonight.
Because that's a part. Honestly, like, I see his character, and I hated the scene where Mike is saying, like, this is the third or second time you said, I want to help you, but I can't help you. I mean, it was even getting on my nerves. Like, stop bringing him in to tell him to do stuff that you know don't have positive results. So in the situation, I mean, I guess I can't. It's hard to say, like, what do you think he should have done? Because if he says he doesn't have the power, I guess he doesn't have the power. But what do you think he should be doing in terms of his suggestions, or even trying to help keep Mike safe? I mean, what do you mean you don't have any power?
It's one of those things where when you're working as the guard or as the counselor, the guards aren't listening to you. You're not their boss. They don't have to listen to what you say. They just bring you whoever you ask for. So I understand what he's saying when he says, I don't have any control over this. But it doesn't mean that he might not be able to call in a favor to someone or anything. But he is working in a prison where people have done something that is wrong. So you cannot use your favor for every inmate in there. You can't save everybody. So you have to save it for those special people and those people who actually deserve your help. Because look at Gallo. You know, he's in the same prison as Mike. Mike did something a lot lesser than Gallo, and they're in the same place. So it's, you know, this is supposed to be, you know, like a minimum. I mean, it's a very fancy prison.
Right. I mean, hell minimum. It's gotta be.
It's super clean. Everything.
The way that Mike was like going through the place, I'm like, oh, look at the little cuts and corners.
You know, that prison on Orange is the New Black, that's some dirty stuff over there. I'm not getting in that shower, but Mike's shower looks like housekeeping just came and cleaned up the place for
they
them.
had little jackets and stuff. I said, I don't think that's like, even if you think of the Orange is the New Black, like not that we're comparing directly, but you know, but the outfits and the setting, it's so rough. It's like, it's just, I think it's to a T in terms of like,
this is the Martha Stewart prison.
Exactly.
You know?
And it's for men. It's wow. Men. Love that. Very interesting. Love. But
I do think that Julius is trying to do everything he can do. And I think that he does believe that Mike is a good person. So he will try to help, which, you know, he did get
in the kitchen,
him the job in the kitchen after all. I don't know if we'll see what he had to go through to get that, or if we'll ever find out. But I think that those little hints means that he does want to try, and maybe he's been here so long that he's become numb, and Mike is the new spark in him. Be like, wait a second, let me remember why I got into this line of work in the first place.
Yes, I agree. I think that you could see it in their talks. You know, he's saying like, listen, I'm trying to help you, but you need to catch your attitude and stuff like that. Like he is trying to help. I think he's tied up a lot more times than we want him to. And to me, it's just irritating because I want to fall in love with Julius as a character, but I'm like, you're really not helping us in this situation. I need you to pull some strings. So thank you for the kitchen. We appreciate it. One step closer to freedom.
One step closer.
One step closer to freedom. So,
and I like that, I guess we'll talk about the Gallo confrontation with Harvey.
Okay. Do you want to jump? We can jump right into Harvey now.
Oh, go ahead. Well, I was just going to say, like, I liked what Mike and Harvey came up with to approach Gallo, knowing he's an informant, being like, hey, you have a really bad lawyer. You're actually eligible for parole. So why don't you get your sweet ass out of here so that so Mike is safe.
Right. So good. And I think that was so funny that was kind of one of those moments that reminded me that just like you said, like wherever Mike is, he can make friends. Wherever Mike is, he turns on that creepy, perfect, smart thing that he does. That even like, I'm sure Harvey and him did it together, but even the way he presented it, like, you got 6, like, I know you think I'm a fake lawyer, but I'm still the smartest freaking person you'll ever meet. And it was genius. Do you think Gallo is going to take the bait, or are we going to see him for the next month?
I think we're still going to see him because it takes a while to get out once you're, eligible for parole and everything. But I do think it's something that if he was willing to cut a deal and be an informant to reduce his sentence and get to
you should be able to get the hell out.
He's also going to want to get out of prison.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you can be the bad guy in prison, or you can actually get out of prison
and see your family.
Who doesn't choose the road that leads you out of prison?
I want to be here and get Harvey back. It's like, dude,
get out of prison and go find Harvey in New York. Like, go directly to Harvey
and stop being. Very true too.
I mean, I don't want him to. Right. Get out and go actually do something to Harvey.
I agree. It was very interesting because he kind of had that blank face on, leaving us like, we don't know what he's going to do. But please, boy, choose the lesser of two evils, please.
Boy, bye.
But do you need a lemonade? I will send you some myself. Okay, with that. So then Harvey had a huge, again, this dude. As much as I love Harvey, he's got an enemy, a friend, an enemy, a friend, an enemy, friend. Like, he's just got this pattern. I loved his relationship with Sean Cahill this episode versus like past seasons. So that was awesome. What did you think about, I guess, Harvey's decision makings when it came to Nathan, and then when it came to the client, William, that he did not take on because he thinks he's crap, basically?
It seems like Harvey has made a new enemy.
Right.
And I understand that he didn't want to get into bed with someone as dirty as William because they're trying to shine this new light on their company. They're starting fresh. They have a fresh start. So we don't want to get in bed with someone as corrupt as him. Totally understand that. But you don't go piss that guy off at the same time, because I feel he could be the next person who your firm is in a sticky situation still. You still don't have the money or support. You need clients. And to have this guy now attacking you, you just put out all the fires,
exactly.
Guys. Let's not reignite
the smoke
them.
is still around.
Yeah, I mean, like, the flame has simmered down a little, but like the smoke is white at this point. It's not black no more, but it's still,
it's
smoky.
Still going on. I agree, and I think it's crazy because Harvey. I was watching his approach all episode, and it's like he doesn't have the capability to just say like, I don't want to work with you. Okay, I'm leaving. Versus like, versus
he has
like
to insult them.
Yes. I'm like, you don't have to tear them all the way down, talk about your hot coffee, and then leave. Bruh, like, you can just say no. It's insane.
Just walk in and be like, oh, cool.
I'm not interested.
I don't think this is going to work out. Thanks for coming in. Handshake, walk out.
I don't think I've ever seen that in 6 seasons. This guy's got it. Even with the painting dude, going in and out of him, and you're a shithead, and that's the only reason you're here, blah, blah, blah. And then it's always so much with Harvey, and I appreciate it as a character, but I'm like, Harvey, I don't want you attacked anymore. This is why we're in this situation with Mike in the first place. You're making enemies in places that, like, are not even seen.
Yeah,
almost.
Harvey needs to take a Xanax.
A step back. Yeah.
Kind of chill out, because he also is worried about Mike right now, so he's stressing. He's got all this stuff, and he's got the firm on his mind. He's got Mike on his mind. He's got Lewis, you know, screwing things up and everything. So I understand that Harvey's mind is racing right now, and he's trying to put out all these fires, so he doesn't have the patience or the time to really think about his words before he speaks them. But at the same time, take a Xanax, drink a glass of wine, and chill for a sec.
Relax, please.
Because like, slow down your pace. I know it's New York City, and I'm out here in LA thinking like, yeah, we'll be there by 3, show up at 5. New York, it's like, go.
And you see that in all these characters. I'm like, oh my God, no. Like, and it's, I mean, we're only in season 6, episode 3. So for them to be at this pace at episode 3, it's like, you just got, you know, it's beautiful and crazy, and we're trying to catch up. So got that, understand. So now we have Harvey and Nathan going to work together to take down William and to just kind of like chase this head on and whatever the case is, which is...
That's going to be an interesting work relationship, right? Since Nathan has always been someone that Harvey doesn't want to work with.
And they barely trust each other, but cool.
Now you have 2 bulldogs working together, and clearly that's they're gonna clash a lot, even in working together. So that will also be another problem. Harvey's gonna be fighting William. He's gonna be fighting Nathan. He's gonna be fighting for Mike. He's gonna fight Cahill.
He probably has to fight. I mean, I don't know how mad Lewis really was in terms of the lease thing, but I mean, you're amending my lease, bro. There's brand bars. How dare you?
Harvey needs to take his 4:15 appointment every day, and without his prune juice and his brand bars, I'm not sure how that's gonna happen.
How about you get a personal fridge, Lewis? You have the money, like
and
you have the money
in his office,
like and hella space. I need you to not have that as an issue. But it was just so interesting because to me, like I guess, and just wrapping up Harvey's character, he doesn't ask for permission for basically anything, and this episode was from one of those episodes that I kind of wish he did a little bit, like consult Jessica, consult Lewis, consult somebody, you know, that kind of thing. So I don't know, I mean, would you overall
I think his intentions are well, but
of course,
you know, he's Harvey, so he's not gonna ever ask permission.
Yeah, true.
Even before his name was on the door, he wasn't asking permission. So, especially with his name on the door, I don't think he's gonna start stopping to ask Jessica for permission for anything.
True. Okay, so moving on to Lewis.
Oh, Lewis.
This was hilarious. This man's lines are getting funnier. I'm serious. Like, who wrote this episode? I gotta look it up because the lines in this episode were foolish. Like,
yes,
so freaking funny. I wish I wrote down my favorite one. It was something about
his mom's ass.
He said that line. He said, "Your line, my mom's ass is so far from tight." That was horrible.
I liked when he was talking about slapping the guy with the dildo. And how he's gonna just be smack with the dildo, and I was like, what is happening right now?
And it's like, how come the people Lewis encounters when he talks like that talk right back to him like that? I'm like, this is not normal, guys. Like, no one. The conversation was so beautiful. That new character, I don't have his name written down, but
I believe it's Stu.
Oh my gosh, he was hilarious. I'm just having a moment thinking about the scene.
And he
so
fits
good.
the stereotype of those
right.
Broker, like Wall Street type of guys who are all about the money and just go and talk all the Red Bulls, how he's talking on the phone to all his douchebaggy friends, and he fits the profile to a T, so it's going to be a lot of fun seeing him and Lewis battle with each other.
I love it. It reminded me of season, I'm not sure if it was 3 or 4, when the guy that like had the cat and like was part of like
the British Lewis.
Yes, that literally brought me back to that moment, and I was like, yes, I was actually really into that.
Plus, Lewis needs someone new to fight with because him and Harvey are supposed to be, you know, on a good terms right now. Right. So it's like you have to have someone there for Lewis to bicker with because it can't be Harvey all the time anymore.
So good. Loved all those scenes. With Lewis right now, what do you think? I mean, he did what he can in most scenes. You know, he got the lease regardless of the tenants suck. He did get that taken care of. He had a little tiff with Donna this episode, but again, taken care of.
Well, like that was eventually. I want to talk about that tiff because Donna got very, very offended. Yeah. That he did not include her in the process. and she went on the rant about how she is a part of this company and they're all supposed to be helping out. And I think that that's the start of something more for Donna.
Yeah, her moving up a little bit.
Yes, like I know I'm the best damn secretary in New York City,
right,
Donna, but this staff is, the 4 or 5 of us, and I want a bigger role. I want a
what
bigger
does she move up
piece.
to?
I don't know what it is, but I think she wants more to do. She's like, hey, you guys are the name partners. I get that. I understand it, but I've been here by your side. So don't forget that just because it's 3 names on that door, Donna is still here, and she is still an integral part of this.
Oh my gosh,
team.
Absolutely. And now that you brought that portion of it up, the tiff she had with Harvey also reflects on that exact same thing. She's, do your job, I've been doing mine, I'm the best, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, so she's trying to remind you that, like, she is always on point. I don't care what you're talking about. So I love that, and we did bring it up a couple seasons ago, but what is her next job? Is Donna going to be the next lawyer? I mean, really know.
Could she be a paralegal like Rachel? I think so. I mean, she has the knowledge, and she could definitely do that.
Yes, because she didn't. You don't have to go to law school. Yeah, she could. Is paralegal what we want for her? I don't know. It's like,
I don't know, but is it what she wants for her?
I know.
Does she want to stay on Harvey's desk for her whole career, or does she see herself? We saw her. What was that last week in the executive kitchen with Jessica? It was her, Jessica, and
Gretchen.
And it's like, hey, look at us all just hanging out in the executive kitchen right now, and it's like, hey, yes, because remember, don't forget about Donna. And don't just think of her as the secretary. And I think her point to Lewis was, do not dismiss me, because we said we were doing this together, and he went about and did it himself. And to her, it could feel like, okay, Lewis was just like, oh,
it wasn't a big
Donna,
deal.
it's not a big deal, or, oh, well, I'm above her, so I can make this decision on my own. And she's telling him, oh, hell to the nah.
Right. See, but I couldn't tell, because then, when we flip it back to him coming back to Grovel, she was already, she was right back in that Donna, like, I've already taken care of it, blah, 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 that kind of thing. So I was like, is she less mad now? I couldn't tell, was she still upset? Because she was, the first scene with that, she was like, well, don't come back. Yeah, she was like, don't come crying to me when you mess it up. And I was like, oh, she's like mad. But I think also we know Donna expects the mess up. So she's already ready to handle it and take care of it. It's the same thing she did with Harvey when, the meeting she'd already set up and stuff like that. So, to forget about Donna, you'd be stupid, bro.
You'd be real
All
stupid.
of you wouldn't. She's literally been, and oh my God, can I just say her outfits this episode? That white dress, who styled it? Oh my God, so gorgeous. Okay, that had nothing to do with law school or anything lawyer related. But anyway, really, I just don't think that it's possible to forget Donna, and I appreciate her reminding them that, because, like, y'all, tweet us, comment, tell us what you want Donna's next position to be, because I actually am really interested in that point. Like, we have talked about her moving up, or what does that look like? Would love to know what everybody else thinks. Like, is she a new lawyer? Is she a paralegal? What do you think? Let us know. Okay, so let's talk Rachel. Miss Rach, she decided to step it up today. Very much appreciate it. Would love to know what Steve thinks, and Nicole, but I know Steve and I kind of go in on Rachel sometimes. How did you feel about Rachel this episode?
I liked Rachel this episode. I thought that the little tiff she got in with that Naomi character, I wrote down Naomi is rude. I didn't write down the other word I wanted to use for Naomi because I felt like I was judging.
Yeah, right. I don't know you fully.
So yeah, I put that she's rude. I think that, but it's also something that we knew could happen. Rachel's dad even talked to her, I think it was at the end of last season, about when she finishes law school and goes in front of the ethics committee. So now we're in an ethics class room. And you're already being called out on it because it's common knowledge that everyone knows your fiance is in jail for.
Yeah, and you knew. That's the part that got me when she was like,
and they don't know for sure. That is speculation. She has never admitted that she knew.
You're right.
But it's clear to everyone that how did you not know your boyfriend?
Is it possible? Okay, let's just take our knowledge out of it. Is it possible she wouldn't have known?
Yes.
Right? Like, that's possible.
There are people, you can know someone, you can be living with someone for years. So you could be married to that person and then find out that they were on a killing spree.
Right.
It happens all the time. And sometimes people are just really good at hiding their other lives from you, which, you know, has to do with some of my trust issues. But we're not talking about that right now.
The real people.
The real.
After show after dark.
But it is something that there is a way that she could have not known that Mike, because she met him as a lawyer.
Yeah.
She did not know for years before he finally told her.
Right.
So there was a point in time when she did not know, and he was keeping this secret from her. And then we know he shared it, but the rest of the world don't know.
Very true, because the way, he covered his track so well, besides the fact that it blew up, before that, or even, like, if you didn't know the full story, how would you know?
And she wasn't at Harvard at the time,
exactly.
So she
really wouldn't know.
She wouldn't have been thinking, I don't remember you from any classes. This seems suspicious.
Right.
She met him in a law office as lawyer Mike Ross.
Why would she?
Why would you even question that?
Right.
If I met someone in the law office and they were a lawyer, I would just go to believe. I wouldn't. And then they had a diploma and school records every time it shows up. I'm thinking, okay, my man's legit.
Right. Like, what, you know, now we should be speculating because the show is crazy.
I'm checking everybody.
Seriously, like,
full background checks.
Right. Like, I need real details. But did you feel good about her taking the Innocence Project at the end of the, you know, kind of tiff with Naomi?
I did, because I think it'll be an interesting counterbalance to what the law office will be working on.
Right.
And it's kind of that thing of Mike is in jail right now, and here she is trying to save innocent people from their death, and meanwhile her fiance is serving time.
It's crazy, because I'm kind of watching, and as soon as I heard Innocence Project, because I'm so fond of that organization, and I've honestly been trying to work with them for a while. So if anyone's watching the Innocence Project, okay. So I really, like, as soon as I heard it, I was like, wow. And I thought it was interesting because in my head, I immediately went to, wow, one day she could save Mike, and then I was like, oh, he's not innocent. It was such a weird thing. Like, I wanted to say it while we were watching, but I immediately was like, wow, maybe. And then I was like, oh crap, he did do it. So it's still hard to, like, get to, but anyway, so happy for Rachel in that situation.
And, this is a little speculation and maybe a little prediction-y, but she'll be working closely with Professor Dunbar.
No. What are you about to say?
I'm just saying that she will be out of the offices and around a new person, spending lots of time with the person, so it could make interesting storylines, is all I'm saying.
No, is all I'm saying.
Interesting storylines.
I can't deal with it. I already went crazy season whatever when she messed with her little friend on the side for like a quick second. No.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you know, the professor could try to make a move on her, and it could get awkward, and she could be scared with her grades. There's a lot of places where this storyline could go now that we're taking her out of the classroom and into a personal project, spending one-on-one time with another person besides Mike, which is how they fell in love.
That was a deep breath, by the way. So, like, if you're listening, I'm stressed. Because what we talked about, like, when last season ended, is it even possible for Mike and Rachel to make it through this? And I was trying. Oh my God, that was amazing. Who gave me that? Thank you. That was so what I was thinking in my head, but trying to calm down because I have a headache. Because is it, you know, this is so much. Like, when you separate a couple like this, especially under circumstances that you're not prepared for, I don't know how many people make it. It's such a realistic thing to see people go through this, you know, and 2 years is nothing in comparison to somebody saying I'm separated for 15 years or whatever. So it's just.
And you have the added on thing that, you know, right now they still haven't seen each other because but Harvey has been there 50 times, twice in one day. So
freaking ridiculous.
So I think that their relationship will be strained. And so that's why it'll be interesting with her just working on another project around other people.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what to say. Because I'm really thinking that, you know, we don't know what
I'm not
the professor
and I'm not saying that Mike and Rachel won't eventually end up happily ever after. I'm saying they will end up breaking up at some point during his imprisonment or right after his release if they get out, because they will be different people.
They definitely will.
And they will you cannot have their relationship sustain throughout this process. I think it has to be broken.
In order
But
to
they
really
can come back together.
Wow. Y'all, you know how I feel about them. I want them to be together forever and ever and ever. Okay, so we touched on Donna, we touched on Lewis. What do we do with Jessica? Because loving at the end of last episode, she hooked up Mr. Jack Soloff. Appreciate you, girl. Not a huge fan of Jack, but I understand why she did it. So now we have, we come back to Jessica again, bomb outfits. You looked great, Tina Torres. We talk about her being the leader and kind of like running the show and doing what she has to do. And what I saw more in this episode was her coming to Harvey and saying like, you should have made that deal, or you have no choice, or explaining to me, blah, blah, blah. And it's so interesting because I know that all their names are on the door, but Harvey's like the leader in this so far to me right now. I don't know.
Jessica takes care of business at home.
Right.
And Harvey goes out and gets the business. It's kind of like back in the olden days when there was the lady of the house and she was running the household.
Right.
But outside of the home, the man was the one who seemed in charge.
Right.
But behind closed doors, mom was taking care of business.
Like usual.
Because I was thinking about that too. I was just thinking, Jessica, if you made the meeting and there's only 3 lawyers working at your firm and you need this account, why aren't you just
doing
taking
it yourself?
The meeting?
Yeah.
Or taking it with Harvey.
Exactly.
But that is the roles that they play in this business. And I think that people, when they hear this firm's name, they want Harvey. They know so Harvey is the fighter. Jessica, not saying she's not pulling her own or anything, but from what we see, Jessica isn't in the daily fight and grind like Harvey and even Lewis is most of the time.
Right. But did you see the moment she had with Rachel where she did say, I deal with this every day? And she really does, in a different way. Like when she said that, I was like, that is the realest. Every day she has to pick her battles every single day. And it's just like, it's exhausting. It's exhausting being Jessica. So, oh my gosh, I don't know. I guess, I think you kind of put it in a better box than I was thinking, because genuinely Harvey is at the forefront in the sense she's just killing it at the back, and that's cool. That works for me, because we still know who's boss. Honestly, I think even Harvey knows like when it's time we got to talk to Mama Jessica. I mean, we're not.
Yeah, because as the managing partner, at least when there was other partners around and stuff,
really not managing much.
She had to take care of the stuff in the office as well. She had to manage all of the office needs and the people coming to her with the petty complaints and everything. People like Lewis complaining about Harvey and all that junk. So when does she have time to go land clients, to go into a courtroom and actually fight a case? That's where she can delegate that responsibility to someone like Harvey, because she can trust him to take care of business.
Touching back on Harvey for a quick second, the painting scene was very sad. What does the painting mean? How do you feel about it? Are we sure it's about his mom, dad, sister, brother? What do we
definitely
think?
about his mom.
Right.
Like, that is, I mean, we saw the picture of, her painting it and him sitting there. I do hope that they dive a little bit more into it, because I love it when we get into Harvey's family.
Yeah, me too.
Just to understand him a little bit more.
We haven't even seen his brother in a long time. Like, I love Harvey's family because it really just gives us more Harvey. And, and I love, Mike unfortunately lost his parents, but I like the family dynamics. I need Jessica. Like, give me some more. We met her sister once. We don't even know if that's really going to be her sister next time. I mean, because we don't remember her face, but, or at least I don't. But, it just was so sad when that painting went away. And I appreciate that he still was he recuperated from that moment throughout the episode, because I didn't know if we were going to see him in the funk the rest of the episode, because it happened pretty early on.
That actually happened last week.
Oh, lies. You're right. Sorry. I had to watch both episodes this week. Anyway, so that happened last week. So then this week, when's the painting coming back? How do you feel about the painting? Is it never coming back? Is it over?
It's not over, but it's going to be a while before we see that painting.
That was sad.
It was really sad, but I don't think we're getting the painting back
anytime soon.
Last
but not least,
our systems don't.
Oh, hello.
That's interesting. Maybe that's about the painting. I don't know. All good. Thank you very much. Last but not least, let's just give a quick Sean Cahill review and just kind of say his last information. We can take this and jump into predictions. He gives us good news. He's talking to Harvey throughout this so far this season. Help us, blah, 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 whatever the case is. I'm really glad that Sean Cahill and Harvey have a very civil relationship from past seasons, so it's good. How do you feel about the last information he dropped?
I think that
Turn over the leaf so Mike can get out.
Turning over a leaf, it's going to be interesting because what he's done is exactly what Harvey has asked him to do. It's now just going to be on Mike whether or not he's willing to do what needs to get done to get him out of prison and back to Rachel. Which, predictions.
Can we just jump into it? Let's just jump into it. Let's just jump into predictions. Yes, give it to me.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Give me the tea. What's up?
So, if Rachel's clearly going to find out about this deal. Mm-hmm. This is his way to get back to Rachel immediately.
Yes.
And if he does not go through with it, Rachel is not going to be very happy. So this could be the start of what puts the strain on their relationship and breaks them apart.
That's it. That is it. Because as you were saying earlier that they would break up, I could agree. There's so many different ways they could break up, but this is very like streamlining of what's going on right now. We know Mike is the good guy. He plays the good guy role a lot of the times. He doesn't want to sell anybody out. And she's going to take it as you're not in love with me or you're not sure about me. How could you not? Because she don't know his roommate. She don't care, and that's so good.
Yeah.
That's what's, I kind of want to say
this is when we're going to get her first visit with Mike.
Yes.
Everyone's going to be visiting with Mike next week, trying to scream at him to get him to do what they view as the right thing, because all they know is that his cellmate is someone who did something bad and wrong, and that's why he's in prison.
Right.
They don't know the guy like Mike knows him. Just like if the tables were turned and it was Kevin who had the opportunity, all of his friends and family would be like, this guy's in prison for a reason because he did something wrong. So why won't you just do it?
Yeah.
You don't know the story. You don't know the camaraderie. They are literally protecting each other right now. So.
Oh my gosh. I love it. That's it, you guys. That's the prediction. I love it. I mean, the only other thing that I'm excited to see is when and how fast William's coming back, because we already know, if we have any type of view into seasons past, we know how it is when Harvey makes an enemy. So I'm excited to kind of see that, because it's interesting when Harvey has enemies. And I have always been interested to see if Daniel Hardman was going to sneak back into this anytime soon. I really want him back, and I want to see, like, is he coming to finally, like,
maybe
give us that?
That's who William goes to represent him for the indictment case, and then he ends up getting out of the indictment and nothing happens to him, and so then he can now come after Harvey. And it's Hardman who's behind it all.
If Hardman is he that powerful though? Like, Hardman's so weak to me.
He is, but if he won in the indictment case, Williams' company, we learned, is worth $2 billion, and he told Harvey, "You win this for me, and you have my company's business until I die." So if he goes to Hardman with the same offer, he's not going to say no, because Hardman's not afraid to play around with dirty people.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. Okay, so definitely need to see all of these things next week. So excited. Thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all know the emotions. I'm just not over the Rachel Mike thing. Okay. Tiona, where can they all keep in touch with you until next week?
You can keep in touch with me at the Tiona Hobson on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes, love it, love it. Thank you guys again for watching. You will see us all for next week. Love you guys. Nicole and Steve, miss you so much. You guys can check me out on Twitter and Instagram at OneTakeStace. Keep in touch, and we will see you next week. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AFTERBUZZ TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AFTERBUZZTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AFTERBUZZ TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AFTERBUZZ TV or its owners or principals.